What's up, everyone? It's Evan with Lions, Bulls, and Bears. You're watching Crypto Courage. Today, we're going to be discussing Ravencoin. So that was me in front of the Peace Coliseum, which is where Ravencoin's developed, right here in just outside of Salt Lake City, Utah, in what's known as Midvale, Utah. So thanks to a friend of mine who actually works in the Peace Coliseum, which is the Overstock headquarters, I was able to shoot the first take of this video then. And so if you see clips with two different settings, that's because some of it was filmed last week and some of it's filmed today. So let's get into the video. This would be a good time to state that this is not financial advice. Nothing on this channel is financial advice. Also, I hold Ravencoin, but I'm not being paid or compensated in any way to talk about Ravencoin. I'm just passionate about the project. So what's up, everyone? It's Evan with Lions, Bulls, and Bears, back for another episode of Crypto Courage. I'm coming to you today from the Coliseum, it's called, the Overstock headquarters. It's also headquarters to Medici Ventures, which is where Ravencoin, Factum, Flow, T0, and a bunch of other awesome, exciting blockchain projects are being developed. Behind me is the Ravencoin merch booth. I'm super excited to get a Ravencoin shirt here in a minute. Just wanted to get into what is Ravencoin. And Ravencoin is a open source software project, and it's a platform like Ethereum, for example. It's not a currency like Bitcoin or Litecoin or Digibyte. It's a platform, and what the use case of the platform is for the creation as well as the transfer of assets. And these assets could be anything. It could be ownership in a company or a project. It could be a building. It could be art, collectibles, gold, silver. There's really no limit to what can be tokenized. And yeah, so that's the use case of Raven. It's meant to, in an immutable, open source, transparent way, show the who owns what. In the white paper, there's a line that I like. In the fictional world of Westeros, ravens are used as messengers of truth. Ravencoin is a use case focused blockchain designed to carry statements of truth about who owns what assets. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Here's another quote from the white paper I liked a lot. Ravencoin aims to implement a blockchain which is optimized specifically for the use case of transferring assets such as tokens from one holder to another. What assets are we talking about? Those assets could be it could be a building. It could be this building. We could tokenize this building. It could be this piece I'm about to make. I can engrave a serial number on this piece and create a digital certificate of authenticity that will follow this piece. And I could put this video on the blockchain, pictures of the pipe, all the specifics, everything about it, proving that this piece is authentic, that it was made by me on this day, and all that. So I'm actually, in fact, doing that with one of my glassblowing teachers, Christian Merwin. Check him out on Instagram, at Christian Merwin, and I'll link his Instagram down below. And we're actually making a project together, which was part of a pipe contest. We started it, got it mostly done, just got to wrap it up. But we'll be tokenizing our piece and putting it on Ravencoin. So I'm real excited about that. Just wanted to get into what is Ravencoin, who started it, its origins, and what it aims to do. Ravencoin is the brainchild of Bruce Fenton. Bruce Fenton is the former executive director of the Bitcoin Foundation, and also used to organize and host the, I think still does, the Satoshi Roundtable. He is the CEO of Chainstone Labs and is a very experienced financial advisor. He basically grew up in you know, surrounded by securities and stocks. His mom worked at Merrill Lynch, I believe, and you know, he did his first stock trade when he was 9 years old, and you know, was immersed in that culture from a really young age. But he's also a cypherpunk historian, and he kind of used it as his calling to kind of bring his old world, the securities world, and this blockchain space together. And that was kind of the idea behind Ravencoin. Now, Ravencoin isn't just for securities. You can tokenize anything, and in a video I have coming up, my friend Marcel Braun, who has glass coins he's making, Project 33 coins, we're actually going to be tokenizing them and archiving them using the Ravencoin blockchain. So I'm really excited. I'm going to do a whole video on that here very shortly. If any of you have ever heard of the Cede Co and the DTCC, these are central parties that have a ledger showing which banks or brokers own which stocks. And Bruce Fenton, he has a awesome video called Cypherpunks in Wall Street on the Security Token Academy channel. I'll link that in the description, where he breaks down the DTCC and Cede Co and how the banks don't trust each other, so they need to have these centralized entities that have that keep a record of which banks and stockbrokers own which stock certificates, and how they're basically using 20-year-old technology. It's antiquated. A while back there was a kind of a famous case involving Dole Pineapple. I believe it was Dole, and it turned out there was way more shares Dole Pineapple than there was supposed to be. With Ravencoin, this can't happen because of consensus. Just how Bitcoin is immutable and proof of work and open source, and anyone can confirm, validate transactions. Same goes for Ravencoin. Ravencoin actually used Bitcoin as its source code. They altered it and tweaked it to suit this asset creation use case, but it is proof of work, it's decentralized, and it is immutable. So, and in that lecture by Bruce Fenton, he breaks this all down. So definitely check out that video. It's very educational. It's called Cypherpunks and Wall Street. Weir has also done some great work on Cede Co and the DTCC, and how corrupt they are, how Hurricane Sandy, he kind of gets a little into a conspiracy theory that they actually intentionally left the door open
so that when to the building where all these stock certificates were held, and when Hurricane Sandy came through, it flooded the whole building, and then I guess like a couple weeks later it caught on fire or something. Super shady.
I mean, up until I think like the 70s or 80s, people were literally riding these stock certificates back and forth on their bicycles. And so since the banks don't trust each other, and they need a central third party to hold this ledger, and an open source ledger is way better. It's not an easy task, but it's way better. You can't have what happened with Dole Pineapple, where there was discovered to be a lot more shares than there was supposed to be. So yeah, when you own stock, you just have an entry at your broker's in your broker's book that you own that stock. They don't actually deliver stock certificates anymore like they used to. Bruce Fenton actually gives a story about how at Merrill Lynch at his mom's work there's actually an armed robbery for the stock certificates back in the day, because that's how it operated back then. And now it's all electronic, but yeah, you know, they keep all the certificates, you know, in some underground place where hurricanes can come and flood the whole building. And
such centralized ledgers in many cases are going to become a way of the past. So, you know, in many cases, centralized databases are superior to blockchains. I do believe that. Jimmy Song has done some great work on this, but I disagree with the Bitcoin maximalists that Bitcoin's going to be the only chain, and that I think Ravencoin is better suited for tokenizing of assets. And yeah, Bruce Fenton also gets into that a lot too, on how the Bitcoin maximalists are wrong, and that there won't only be one chain or one coin to rule them all, that there's going to be use cases for other coins. Some people criticize investing in cryptocurrency or a blockchain project because of the key figures or the people heading the project or advising the project. But I agree with Weir that that's a good place to start, in fact, is to start with the people. Who's behind the project? That's very important. Is the person trustworthy? Are they very knowledgeable? Are they scammers? And Bruce Fenton, Patrick Byrne, Tron Black, who's the lead developer, these people are all very smart, very reputable. I'll also be linking videos by all three, Bruce, Patrick, and Tron. So check it out in the description. And I also hope that we can have in the future, once this channel starts to grow, we can have Tron Black on to discuss Ravencoin in further detail.
You could argue that like Bruce or Patrick is a central figure. Even Cede Co Crypto YouTube channel I like a lot. He recently did a video on Patrick Byrne, where he was saying that Patrick, being all caught up in the Spygate, Russiagate scandal, would you know, spell the end or be real bad news for Ravencoin and all the projects that are under Medici Ventures. I don't think so. I think you know, it's all going to blow over. Patrick is going to be vindicated shortly, I believe, and yeah, he's going to be viewed as a hero, I think. So I'm not worried about Russiagate impacting Ravencoin very much. So But I get the argument that the Bitcoin maximalists make that central figures could pose a problem.
So one thing I want to touch on is that Ravencoin was touted as being ASIC resistant, and it looks like some ASICs are being used to mine Ravencoin now, and there's been a dramatic increase in the hash rate, and there's, I think, a potential fork coming up over this issue, and we'll do a future video on the Ravencoin fork and ASIC mining versus GPU mining, and is one healthier than the other. And I think the future is really bright for Ravencoin. And to quote Patrick Byrne, who is the CEO of Overstock and former CEO of Overstock, I have a video about Patrick too that I'm about to put out. But you know, he called Ravencoin a breath of fresh air, and I agree with him. The future is really bright for Ravencoin, in my opinion. It was fairly launched, didn't have an ICO. One of the cleanest launches. Even some of the most staunch Bitcoin maximalists agree that of all the projects, compared to a lot of the other projects that launched in 2017, early 2018, that it was one of the most fair and decentralized launches. So yeah, and also another reason why I think Ravencoin has a bright future is because it survived the crypto winter. It's really got launched right at the end of the bull market and has grown tremendously, moved up the ranks on CoinMarketCap, gone up multiples in price, all during a quite severe bear market. So I can only imagine what Ravencoin's going to do in a bull market.
Open source ledgers are going to be far superior to central databases in many cases. Not all cases. There's going to be a lot of cases where many cases where a central database will work better. But I think for securities and for knowing who owns what, an open source ledger is great for that. So. But as an artist, I'm very excited about Ravencoin, because now any artist could take a piece of art, put a serial number on it, and then they can tie that piece of art, that real world item, to the blockchain and create a digital certificate of authenticity that can go along with that real world item. So it's really exciting what can be done with this new technology. There's a lot of really brilliant people creating a lot of real exciting stuff. There's wine futures, trying to think of what else. Cede token, which I'm going to do a video on, which is a gold-backed crypto. I've seen some people do like silver coins that they tokenized with Raven. It's people like putting old classic movies up on Raven. All sorts of exciting stuff. I'm really excited about Marcel's Project 33 coins. What we're going to do with Ravencoin.
All right, everyone. Hope everyone has a great morning, afternoon, night, wherever you are. Much love and respect